Hey y'all, welcome back to Vivsvibe. Today we're talking about toenails, toenail clippers, drilling toenails, you name it, we're talking about it today. A really common question is, how many toenails do you lose? How often do you lose toenails? What's the deal with the toenails and running? People are just curious about losing toenails. There's stickers about it. People get them surgically removed. So what is the deal with toenails and running? I just so happened to run into my mother, who is currently experiencing some toenail issues post 50K. So I'm gonna bring in her 30 years of experience with running and toenail injuries. Here you go. Enjoy. Don't think it's gross. This is just something that happens. If you're a runner, it might happen to you. Most likely, your chances are pretty high. So get over the grossness of it and just embrace the toenail gunk issues. The toe gnarl.
I've had times where I can't sleep, or it's interrupted my sleep because my toenail hurts, and you can just feel the pressure. It's like a blister, basically. So I finally got brave and decided that I would relieve the pressure on my toenail. I had both of my big toes hurting. I wore shoes, went to work. It hurt like fire. So I thought I was gonna have to drill it like this, with this kind of a drill, and I was actually willing to let my husband drill my toenail because that's how much it hurt, and I knew it would be relieved with just a little bit of pain. When in fact, it's not that traumatic. It's a simple process. Get the smallest drill bit. You can buy them at Home Depot for about $5 or $6. I lit a match and burned it to sterilize it. Cleaned my toenail really, really, really well with just some hydrogen peroxide or some alcohol, because you don't want to push any type of bacteria into your toe, because you do not want an infection. So, and by the way, I am not a podiatrist or a doctor. I do have a vegan nutritionist certification, but this is just me being somewhat of a witch doctor healer and just a runner who's had some toe pain. So, and this works for me. Try it if you want, but it's a great source of relief, and it works. So what you're gonna do is you're going to take the drill bit, and I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna do it on my fingernail just to show you, but just take it, apply it to your nail, and twist it back and forth, and you're gonna put some pressure, not a lot, but just a little bit of pressure. And it took me about 10 minutes to get through my toenail because I was so ginger with it. I was the first time I was afraid. The second time there was no fear because it's not that big a deal. You just get it, and it'll eventually make a small hole, and you just keep drilling until boom, you hit gold. And you'll know you hit gold because it's going to be a pinch. Obviously you're hitting a very tender nail bed with a sharp object, but it's not, it's a pinch, boom, like that. And then of course your toe is going to, the stuff is going to come out of your toe, and if you've got blood under there and pus, it's just like a blister. I know it sounds gross, but it's not a big deal, and it will give you immediate relief. And for the next couple days, your toe's probably going to ooze out of that spot, just like a blister would. I continue to run a little bit of hydrogen peroxide on mine here and there just to keep it clean and dry. I wore socks or flip-flops. You just clean it, just like you would with any other one. Be smart about that. You can see right there is the hole that I drilled with this drill bit. I drilled it back closer to the nail bed because at the time there was a lot of pressure here in my cuticle. It was red and inflamed, so I drilled back here thinking that would relieve more of the pressure, and it did. It was great. You can see that was probably 4 weeks ago, so the hole's gonna grow out. This toenail I think is going to survive. However, this one over here, since this first 50K, I've run 3 more on weird toes. So the toenail actually this morning, it was kind of green yesterday, and also again I ran in 100% rain. My feet were soaked for about 7.5 hours, sweat and rain, soaking wet, like I put them in a bucket. So when I woke up this morning, the cuticle had released on this side, but not here. Is there a toenail? Oh yeah, look, feel that. There's like a light little toenail under there.
Oh yeah.
It's another red one. So it's probably, that new toenail is probably not going to be a normal healthy toenail. So I'm probably going to have to go through one more toenail evolution before I have normal feet on that foot with that toenail. And again, I drilled these toenails about 4 weeks ago, and it saved me, kept the toenails on. It immediately took me out of pain. As soon as I relieved the pressure, took me out of pain. Those toenails have been useful, and they stayed on board and protected the little newbie growth toenail that was coming in until it was ready. And then I don't think this sucker would have fallen off had I not run 31 miles in completely soaking wet shoes yesterday. Losing toenails is not an everyday occurrence. It's not an every run occurrence. I know people on the outside have heard stories of toenail loss. It happens, but it doesn't happen that often. I've probably lost less than 2 hands worth of toenails in the 20 years I've been running. Maybe not even that many, 10, yeah, 10-ish. But it's not an everyday occurrence, and I don't really know what the rhyme or reason of it is, because I used to run in Asics. I've been in Hocus for about 5 years. I lost toenails in Asics. I've lost some toenails in my Hocus, but I don't really think it's a shoe thing, and I don't think it's a fitment issue with me. I think it's just it's a terrain issue because I'm not used to running hills. This particular stuff was because I don't usually run long distances in the Texas humidity and heat. So I was super sweaty and wet feet. So what would I do in retrospect? There's really not a lot I could have done, I don't think. Another one of my tricks is I'll call it my foot bag, and I just have this hanging out in my house. If I'm traveling for a race, I throw it in my big box. In my shoe bag, my drill bit. So I keep it in a baggie, and I also have some safety pins because I thought I could drill my toenails with those, but I can't. But safety pins are always a good thing. Advil is in there. BC powder, which is another powdered analgesic. It's really good and it works fast. Got some toenail clippers because you're always going to want to make sure your toenails are clipped about 3 or 4 days out. Not clipped short, but clipped good. I use these toenail clippers, scissors to cut my toenail off when it was hanging, so that's why those are in there. In my bag, these are salt tabs. I just kind of because I might need them, and if I may not have them otherwise. A little bit of antibacterial cream, so this I can use for chafing or blisters on my feet or anything like that. But this works for humans and animals, but you can buy human grade at any Walgreens, Target, any pharmacy. So yeah. Next up, I have got, this is Blister Shield. This is a great product. It comes in single serving packages as well, but you can just buy a shaker of this. I think it's about 10 or 15 bucks. It lasts for quite a while. But if you are running, it's not a rainy day, you're just running with just normal sweat, and you're getting a hot spot or a blister, you just open up, take off your sock, or maybe get a fresh sock, open it up, pour this directly into your sock, put it on your foot and run, and it'll save you some pain and blisters, especially if you're doing some long stuff. Next, I've got a dressing kit. It's just for larger blisters. This is for after. You're not gonna wanna put Band-Aids on your feet while you're running because it's just not gonna stay on. That's why the Blister Shield's gonna come in handy. Oh, here they are. These are the single serving Blister Shield packs. These are great. You can carry them in your hydration vest. They don't weigh anything. They don't take up any room. And I always have a couple of these with me. 2 more things. Just some petroleum jelly, some Vaseline. That just is a multitude of uses. Before, after, chafing, blisters. You can put that on beforehand. I used to grease my toes before I ran a marathon, and now I'm just over it. I don't get issues between my toes, but I have in the past. So that you have to have. This is a must-have, the #1 must-have thing next to ibuprofen. And then I have little packages of antibiotic cream. It's kind of like Vaseline with an antibiotic stuff in it. It's very similar to what I put on the dog. It's just for humans, and it comes in a small package. Again, I'll wear it. I'll bring this with me actually on the trail. That way I have it. And you can put this stuff anywhere. I mean, anywhere. It works anywhere. If you're having some chafing issues, it works. I've used it and I haven't had any adverse reactions. So anyway, that's my foot kit, and it just zips up, ready to go. Off to the next race.
Thank y'all so much for watching. If you've made it this far, you're a true runner and you're not scared of toenails. Good for you. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I post a new video every week. They're not always this gnarly, but when they are, it's fun, isn't it? Didn't you enjoy this? See y'all next week and happy trails.
I should paint it if I cared, but I kind of wear ugly toenails as a badge of running. It's just a ultra runner's look, and I know that looks just awful, but it's coming off. So but you're gonna lose a toenail, but that's just how I think. Just part of one of those fun things of running. You get some calf muscles and you lose some toenails.